Hi everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. It's Michelle Salcho, and I am a few minutes late, and I am way not organized. My craft room is still a big mess after a full day stamping yesterday with lots of guests, and that was great fun. But in fact, I can't shine the camera down until I clear a spot off because this is embarrassing. But I didn't want to be too late, and I'd like to tell you too that I have it all figured out what I'm going to do this evening, and I only sort of do. I wanted to do some really simple, basic thank you notes because I need a bunch of thank you notes. We've had so many people that helped us, that stepped in and helped us move our daughter into her new apartment, our daughter and our granddaughter. We've had people that have donated items to her, to setting her up in her new apartment. And then I had all these people that came and stamped with me. So I have a need for thank you notes. And I like to use note cards for thank you notes. And I'm going to explain about those in a few minutes if you haven't seen those before. The first thing I wanted to do, I'm jumping over to share my video on the group because I can only broadcast in one place. But sometimes people are looking for me in the group and don't know that I'm over on the page. It's kind of confusing that there are two things that are so similar. So let me close that. All right, so I think that's showing, and I'm going to leave this over here so that when I make the camera transition and I do pull it down, that I can make sure that I am seeing what I think I'm seeing. Now, I'm kind of going to just sweep this off into the floor in just a moment, which I know is a terrible thing to do. And I really would love to show you my closet. And I'll have to post a photo because I love the way I've been organizing my space, reorganizing my space. And you might notice that the back behind me looks quite fun and different. And I love it. I love that I have a place to spotlight some things that I'm working on or I've created or that maybe you've asked about. And so that's what you'll see behind me. And then in my closet, I've moved everything around so that when I'm crafting, all of my paper is right behind me, my designer series paper, my re-inkers. I keep my inks, my ink pads in a caddy that's just right over here, and then my blends are right over here. See, I can't show you that because there's so much of a mess in between here and there. Can anybody relate to that? And if I'm talking a little softly, it's because Hazel is here tonight. My daughter had to work today. They had to work over. There was a big sale that required overtime from the staff. Okay, so maybe I've made a little bit of room, and I just ran across something that I'm actually going to leave out here, and almost ready that I can shine my camera down. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to set this over here, get it out of the way. I'd love to ask you to close your eyes while I do this so that I can figure out whether or not I really did get my space cleared or if you're going to be looking at a huge mess. Oh well, it is what it is. And when you've been preparing all week for an event and then downstairs until 20 minutes ago, well, it kind of happens. So I have a couple of things I'm going to show you. Note cards. you might remember the Rooster note card that we made last month in my monthly, my all occasion class. That's my Thursday class, I call it sometimes. I'm going to show you how I made that because it's really fast and it doesn't take a lot of tools. That's kind of what I wanted to focus on a little bit, was how you can stamp without investing everything. You know, the starter kit, the membership, is such a great deal, and that ends on March 31st. No, that's not fair. The starter kit, the membership, is always the best deal, the best bang for your buck in the catalog. Normally, for $99 plus tax, no shipping, you can select $125 in merchandise, and then have a 20% discount for at least 4 months until the end of the next full quarter. During celebration, which is January through March, you're able to select $175 worth of merchandise, and you can pay $99 and plus shipping, plus tax, sorry, or you can pay $129, and remember that includes this awesome tote bag. And I've shared this before, so I'm not going to share it again. I just want to remind you that this deal is expiring on this bag. At the end of March, you won't be able to get this bag. And the only way you can get this bag now is through purchasing that membership. And the membership is awesome. Our team is amazing. We have such a good time. If I've got some team members on watching, I'd love it if you'd share, why you joined and what you feel like are the big reasons that you stay. And that'd be great. That's kind of some funny shading going on here. But even with $175 in merchandise, you might feel challenged to know where to start. And what do you do because you didn't get everything for $175. You couldn't. You don't have a big shot, maybe. Maybe you don't have, without a big shot, you don't have the embossing folders. You don't have the framelits or the die cuts. And you may not have a lot of ink. So you need to know how you can make beautiful cards when you're just starting out. And then you can gradually add to what you have. And that, you just want to be stamping. You just really want to be creating. So I wanted to show you how you could have some basic supplies and make some beautiful things. And one of the examples I have is the Rooster card that we made in our class last month. And another one that I have is from the Strong and Beautiful class that I offered yesterday. And there are a few different examples, but there's one that I think might really surprise you. So let's take a look. So if you, okay, let's do the Rooster first, and then I'm going to come back to the Strong and Beautiful cards and show you what the surprising part about them. So I'm going to be brave. I'm going to share. I think I'm going to put the screen down. Let's see if this works. Alright, so I'm going to just pause for a second and make sure that transition did in fact work. No, I got to go back over here. Oops. Okay, hold on. I did this just before we came on to make sure I could. Oh, I remember. Sorry. Share screen. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. Now. Should be. Yeah. Yep. Still a hot mess. I'm just going to push a few things out and pretend they're not there. Sorry. Gosh, that's so cluttered. And I don't know how to zoom. So much about this that I need to learn. And I hate. I just don't want this to be so cluttered. I'm sorry. An extra blade right there. Host code right there. A little happy and some hearts. We'll just leave those because that's kind of fun. Scraps. Okay, that's my notepad. Alright, a little bit better. Oh, a thumbtack. That would be kind of handy to not step on or not to show, but I gotta get the little frogs out of the way. They're bothering me. And that is bad news. So this is the, clearly I used the framelits for the So Happy Together stamp set. They sold out, and the cupcakes have sold out. The cupcake cording framelits and the Lily framelits have now sold out too. And I know that that makes us all very sad, but I'm a relatively new demonstrator, and I haven't been around for a lot of celebrations, but I've been around enough to know that I've never seen the coordinating framelits like that offered. So it's amazing, or it's fantastic that the company offered something new this year, and it was so successful to have sold out so quickly. So that's a kind of a bad news, good news situation. They will have all this, much more data next year when they get ready to do Celebration to be prepared for the demand. So, having said that, I did want to work with a Painted Seasons bundle tonight, but I'm just not ready for that. So I'm going to have to just share some samples with that later on. That will be part of the Thursday class. And it is this Thursday. So if you would like to come to that class, I need to know pretty quickly. And anyway, so the Rooster, Home to Roost. And I do believe that this set is still available for purchase. No, this set is still available with as a Celebration selection with a $50 purchase. And I am just remembering the layout of this card. I think it went just like this. Just a note down here. So, this card, pack of note cards, 20 note cards for, I believe it's $6.50. The item number is 131527. They are pre-cut and scored. They're a fabulous size to be working with. I think they're like 3.5 by 5. Well, actually, I bet the label tells me and I don't have to measure it. 3 5/8 by 5 1/8. So roughly 3.5 by 5. I bet the envelopes are probably 5/8 at 3 5/8. Anyway, the Rooster stamp set should be back here. And the blocks are still, hold on. Oh, dadgum. Hold on. Looking for blocks. Oh my gosh. Silly blocks. Okay. Blocks. Found them. Along with some ink pads. But you don't need them. Okay. So we need a block. But this Rooster certainly could be a thank you. I could do, I don't know, lots of different things. But a pack of note cards, 2 circle punches. Right, this one is, must be 2 1/4. And then a framelit used 2 1/2. The Rooster is going to be a bit tight for anything less than that, so I really couldn't do 2 inches. I'm just inking him up with the black ink. This Rooster is darling in black and white. He is darling when he is colored. with blends or ink or watercolor pencils. He's just so cute. So I'm going to set him over there. Actually, I need two, so I'll go ahead and stamp the other one. A little far left on that one. Memento ink is a water-based ink, so this is the ink that you use when you are working with the Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol-based. This is not the ink that you used when you're working with watercolor pencils or the ink from our ink pads. I'm just looking for Jenny. Oh, Jenny. One of my customers shared with me the tip of cutting your chamois into fourths. And, primarily the thought was to be using, if you're using with your Stamparatus, because it's so easy. But I kind of like doing it for all my cleaning. Now, if I wanted to use it like this, sure, the big piece might be preferable. So far I have one that I've cut into quarters and two that are still solid. Alright, so let's put this in here and then stamp just a note on these two little guys. So I have the Whisper White note cards, basic black in a 2.5 inch circle, and then I stamped the rooster on a 2 1/4 inch circle. And then this little guy is about 1/2 inch wide. I always save my strips from when I'm cutting layers for my cards because they are almost always the perfect width for the greeting and such. Now, these are cling stamps. We've talked about cling stamps before. Did you know that in the new catalog coming out the 1st of June that there won't be wood-mounted red rubber stamps? They will all be cling except for the large background stamps, which is the marbled, I think what other handwritten, I can't think of the names of the background stamps right now. But anyway, alright, so that's really the stamping for this. Everything else is just layering it up. So I'm going to layer my rooster to the black circles. I'm doing this from memory. I hope I've got it about right. Typically, I do this layer, what I call flat. Right? And then when I put this on the card, the black to the card layer, I will typically put that on with dimensionals, which you might hear referred to as pop-up dots sometimes. Okay. Set that over there. And then I am going to just layer these up. And since I don't have one piece that's since these are independent, so to speak, I'm not putting them down on a layer and then the layer down. I'm not quite sure how I need to space them, if they need to be overlapped or not. And it looks like I'm going to leave almost a 1/2 inch on each side. This paper is from that Butterfly Gala that's also a Celebration selection. And last I heard, this was still available, this paper. I think I'm on my 3rd pack of this paper. It's been kind of popular. This little black gingham has been very popular. And then the butterflies as well. And please don't ask me whether I like the black and white side or the colored side better, because they're just different. You need both of them. And then I just have a 1/2 inch strip of cherry cobbler. And I'm using Tombow. Use Tombow or snail for this. And I'm just going to leave a little tail on that end. And then the rooster, let's just give him everybody needs dimensionals. If you need dimensionals, you need Stella and at least black ink. And I'm going to bring in something like that. Can't decide whether he's... Okay, there he goes. And if you're really good with scissors, you might flag this end, but for two reasons I'm not going to do that. I'm not sure where my scissors are, for one, and I'm not good at flagging, for two. So I'm not going to. The flag punch is here somewhere, and that would be helpful, but I have something else I want to show you, and I want to get to it. So, just one more video. Okay. And then I'm not going to let that stick out. And then some little jewel right here would be great. Let's see if I've got anything handy that I can reach. I don't remember where everything might be. Okay, just a sec. Come over to grab. I don't think the red rhinestones are right. Quite what I'm looking for. Just regular rhinestones. And there. I love those. Oh, maybe these dots. I like these. Okay. Let's see how we like this. Yeah. There we go. Just a super simple note. Right? Could be for a thank you, could be just a little thinking of you, could be anything, right? It's just a note. Okay, so let me set the other pieces aside and I will put that together later on. You all don't need to see that. Now, I wanted to show you a beautiful card that you can duplicate when you only have some basics, right? You just have a trimmer. You just have a few inks. And you might not realize how simple it would be to do again. So this card, this is the way I made it the first time. Let me see. So, God made you my mother. Love made you my friend. Happy Mother's Day. This is just white baker's twine, right? The vellum from the Floral Romance Occasions catalog. Oh. Okay. Let's see if we can find it. You all realize that the Occasions catalog is while supplies last. It's only here for a little while, and some things sell out faster than anticipated. So this is the Floral Romance. It's on page 11 of the Occasions catalog for $14. It's beautiful, beautiful paper. And I continued on. Remember, I made this strong and beautiful set of cards first with the Happiness Blooms paper, and then I used this vellum and this card. So it's got a fresh fig card base, and then a white layer, a layer of the vellum, and then I did use framelits on this, but I wanted to show you how you might do this same card if you didn't have a Big Shot. What would you do? So that's what we are going to look at, right? So I'm going to look at this one and one other. So now let me grab my number 6. Number 6. So this was something really cool I did for the stampers this time. When I prepared, this is what you get when you come to my class. I have all your supplies in envelopes, and this time I actually numbered the envelope. Number 6. I don't think you probably can't see that, but anyway, trust me. I put little numbers here that corresponded with the card they were working on. So here in this little envelope, clear envelope, was this card. I even decorated the envelope. It's so easy. That's just paper. It's just paper. And then I slid it into the sleeve with the directions. Of course, I had to tolerate my handwriting, but anyway, it made it easy to match up what you were doing. So if you were working on card number 6 and your neighbor had just finished card number 5, they were ready to work on number 6, but you weren't done, they could pretty easily jump to the next card and not hang anybody out. So we're going to need, so this is what they would do. So they would pull this out, and for my class, I would have already done the Big Shot work, and they would just do the stamping. So they have a card layer for the inside, and then they have the 2 layers for the outside. Now with vellum, with the colored vellum, it's not so hard to find a place to put your adhesive and worry that it's going to show through. I can pretty easily hide it on the back of these colored flowers. So that is what I'm doing. Just adding adhesive in those places. And I'm using glue dots. And then I'm going to place that. I'm going to give myself the little border. There we go. Alright, so this is the outside. Now, I don't have those framelits. Gosh, mighty, what am I going to do? I'm not going to sweat it, because what I have is a trimmer, and I have paper. That's all I need. Well, okay, so I'm going to need a stamp set, and I'm going to need a couple of inks. But I've got that. So, I do have to remember where the inks are, because they were the last things to come up here. Okay, so I need my Fresh Fig ink and my Mossy Meadow ink. And my stamp set, Strong and Beautiful. If you don't have this set, please get this set. It's just so beautiful and so versatile. You're going to be amazed. Now, I'm also going to need some white and some Fresh Fig. And I'm just going to check my scrap bin and see what I have hanging out. I think that's going to be a big enough piece of white. Now I need some Fresh Fig. And, alright, so I might have used all of that. Actually, that piece of white looks just fine. I'll get that one out of the way. Alright, so let's get this stamp set out, it says. And, with the labels, you don't have to read the stamps like this and try and figure out what they are. Just flip it over. Find the one you're looking for. Here, up here in the corner. God made you my mother, love made you my friend. And I have started trying to put I try to put my stamps in the same basic order as they appear on the front inside the case. But in this case, it's a little backwards. Alright, so here's God made you my mother. And I did this in Mossy Meadow, one of my favorite greens. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. I don't think I said that yet. you've had a good day. Alright, so I can get this, come back with my trimmer and straighten it out if I need to. Okay, so that's that. Although I really got okay. We're going to go with it. And I'm going to clean that one off. Sorry, table shaking. Just stamp back. And I'm going to go ahead and grab Happy Mother's Day. Put that on my block. And you know, you don't have to have a ton of blocks either. It has to be big enough, but it doesn't, there's no rule, okay? So, as long as it fits your stamp, it'll work. And I've learned that if you don't put your stamp, like, I used to put my stamps this way, so that they were all lined up, and I would put them on grid paper and try and line it up. What I learned recently is that if you put them off, then your eye works with the stamp in trying to center it up. And it, of course, I'm probably liable to get this all wonky, but I don't know, that looks pretty good. But by putting it at an angle, your eye wants to follow the line of the stamp in lining it up instead of getting all confused with the multiple lines when you have it lined up with the edges of your block. Alright, so that's our stamping. And now we're going to do some trimming. Now we want to leave enough room so that this can come across, right? So, I'll measure this. And I want to leave a little something down there. So that is 1, 2, 3 inches. Alright, so it looks like this is 1, 2, 2.5. So this is 2.5, and I can make it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Shouldn't be this hard, should it? 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Okay, I'm going to start it at 3.5, and then I can always trim off more, but I can't add more to it once I trim it off. Alright, so I'm going to bring my trimmer in to 3.5. So I'm going to line it up here at the top, bump my edge against the bumper. Remember, this is my scoring blade. The dark one is my trimming blade. Okay, so now I need to add fresh fig in a border. And fresh fig, I couldn't find any scraps around, so I'm going to use fresh fig paper. Go ahead, so that top side. Alright, so this is 2.5. So I'm going to make this 2 3/4. Remember last week I showed you how to use the trimmer to create some embossed background? It's kind of, you know, your trimmer can do a whole lot. So this is 3.5, so I'm going to make this 3 3/4. And just create a border for this. So different shape. I've done the same thing though. And I've done it. So when you're just starting out, the trimmer is the investment you want to make. Okay? Get the big shot later. Come to class, mine's always available. unlike yesterday, this was our second annual St. Patrick's stamp. Everyone was able to work on other things. Kristen, how many card bases did you get cut? She used my large cutter for that. And then, okay, scissors. And I'm just going to cut this. Alright. Now I did not leave a lot of room at the top for a bow. Dimensionals on this. Although I didn't put dimensionals on the other one. I'm going to do it on this time. And I'm trying to think of where my little embellishments are. Hope they're right. I think they are. Okay. I use a lot of dimensionals, but you gotta put one in the middle because you don't want any soggy middles. Ange McKay, that was her lesson. No sagging. I think I still call it soggy. It's saggy, not soggy. There's nothing soggy about it. It's saggy. Okay. Picked the wrong day to trim my nails. Alright, so here is my layer. Here is mine. I do typically score my cards on my trimmer. I'm not so good with folding them in half. Some people are. That's great. I'm just not one of them. Now you could even stamp on this inside. There's the Strong and Beautiful is just a greeting set, but you could use another stamp set that has some flowers. Actually, the stamp set that goes with this has some lovely floral images in it, or flourishing phrases, lots of different ones. Okay, so I'm just going to dive down for a second and see if I can find what I need. It's not going to be there. It's not. Okay, so look in here. See if I've got anything in here. Oh, I do. Hopefully I'm not borrowing a prize for somebody. Come on, where's the end? I know you have one. There it is. This was included in the class as well, a pack of these. They're so pretty. And actually I could have kind of cut a little bit more, could have trimmed that down a little more, I think. And since it's kind of squared off, maybe I would actually do a row of 3. I like that. And since I went pretty close to the top, I'm not going to add a piece of ribbon, but you could, right? So here's this card. Isn't that lovely? So here's the original, using the Big Shot, right, to make it oval. Here's a trimmer. So what do you like best? Do you see that there's no reason to be intimidated, that you can have just a few basics and still make beautiful cards? I hope that helped. So I've showed you the rooster, and I've gone about 40 minutes, so that's probably long enough. I'll let you all go and enjoy your evening. Let me pop up my website and the host code, and move some things out of the way so that you can actually maybe read that. It's also hanging out right here. That was for my benefit, not yours. But so here are the cards. Let's pull those back out here too, so you can see them. Here are the cards that we did tonight. These little floral embellishments, by the way, they are item number 148782 on the same page in the Occasions catalog as the Designer Series paper, and that's page 11. And they are $7 each for a pack of, well, let's just say several. Enough. I hope you enjoyed the video tonight. I'd love it if you would share. I'm kind of close to a goal, so if we could get more people to like the page, more people to like the group, follow me on YouTube, Instagram. Whew, I'm not that popular, but I'd love to have a few more followers. That would help me reach a goal that's kind of coming up. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I hope you've had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Have a great week, and I will be back soon. We are getting close to the end of Celebration, so remember, a $50 order will earn you one Celebration item of your choice. There's still plenty to choose from. Even though some have sold out, new items have been added. The Painted Seasons is beautiful. I will try and post some samples of that. And we will be using the Painted Seasons bundle in class on Thursday. And if you haven't seen that, I think it's over here. Here's the stamp set, the Painted Seasons. The paper I can't quite reach, but the paper is beautiful. This is a distinctive stamp set, meaning that you get a real detailed image. My words escape. The words escape me. Sorry, but they're just beautiful. There's a succulent, the flower, a pine cone, some gorgeous greenery as well. So that is one of the stamp sets we'll be using on Thursday. We're also going to make a fun fold card, a little frog, and then the Precious Rabbit from Fable and Friends. We're going to use that to make a fun spring card. So that's 3. And I think the 4th one is a very simple thank you card. Wouldn't have to be thank you, but that's what I'll be turning it into. So everybody, I'd love for you to join us on Thursday. There are 2 sessions. There's one at 3:30 and one at 6. I just need to know when you're going to be here, and I'll have everything prepped for you. And then on the 30th of the month, the last Saturday, we'll have a last chance celebration class, and we'll have some prize drawings, and we're going to be playing with whatever celebration items are left. So everybody have a great week. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing my video and your comments. I so appreciate your comments. If you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like to place an order, you have questions, please reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you in any way. If you are interested in learning more about the membership, then please let me know. I'd love to have you be part of my team. We are the Stamping Queens. Not every team comes with a song. So now I've left you with Dancing Queens by ABBA playing in your head, and you're very welcome for that. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, now I've lost the finish button. There it is. Seriously. Bye-bye.